It was supposed to be a calm, friendly morning chat between two British icons. Sir Ian McKellen, the legendary actor known for his roles in The Lord of the Rings and X-Men, had been invited to Lorraine to promote his latest stage production. But what unfolded live on ITV left audiences stunned, and sent social media into a frenzy. The show began as usual. Lorraine Kelly, smiling warmly, welcomed her guest. "It's such a pleasure to have you back, Sir Ian," she said. McKellen, always charming, replied, "Always happy to be here, Lorraine. Though I must say, these early mornings are not my finest hour." Laughter filled the studio, but it didn't last long. The conversation turned serious when Lorraine brought up the topic of cancel culture and the state of modern theater. She mentioned recent controversies surrounding older actors being accused of insensitivity toward younger co-stars. "Do you think," Lorraine asked cautiously, "that perhaps the industry has moved on from the old ways, and that maybe some veteran actors need to adapt?" McKellen raised an eyebrow. "Adapt? Lorraine, I've been acting since before most of these people were born. Theater is about truth, not about trendiness." Lorraine tried to soften the tone. "Of course, but audiences now expect a safer environment, don't they?" That's when McKellen's patience seemed to snap. "Safe theater?" he scoffed. "Art is meant to make people uncomfortable. It's not a nursery. Actors shouldn't be walking on eggshells just to please Twitter." Lorraine blinked, caught off guard. "But surely," she said, "there's a difference between being provocative and being disrespectful." McKellen leaned forward. "Disrespectful is treating art like a product to be sanitized. You can't legislate creativity, Lorraine." His voice was rising. "If Shakespeare were alive today, you'd probably cancel him too." The audience chuckled nervously. Lorraine's smile tightened. "That's a bit dramatic, isn't it?" "Dramatic is my profession," McKellen shot back, his tone sharp. "And I'm quite good at it." The tension in the studio was now unmistakable. The producers could be seen gesturing behind the cameras. Lorraine, trying to regain control, attempted to steer the discussion back to McKellen's play. But he wasn't done. "You see," he continued, "the problem with modern interviews is that everyone's terrified of offending someone. You ask me to speak honestly, and when I do, you flinch." "I'm not flinching, Sir Ian," Lorraine said, forcing a polite tone. "I'm just making sure we're fair and balanced." "Balanced?" McKellen repeated with a wry smile. "You mean dull?" The audience gasped. Lorraine looked momentarily stunned but tried to laugh it off. "Oh, I think we've touched a nerve today." McKellen folded his arms. "No, Lorraine. You've touched the death of real conversation." A long silence followed. The show's director finally cut to an ad break, much earlier than planned. When the broadcast resumed, Lorraine was alone on the sofa. "We were chatting with Sir Ian McKellen before the break," she said carefully, "but we've had to end the interview a little early due to scheduling." But the damage was done. Within minutes, clips of the fiery exchange went viral on X, formerly Twitter. Fans were divided, some praising McKellen for speaking his mind, others accusing him of arrogance. "Sir Ian is a legend, but he could have shown some respect," one user wrote. Lorraine handled that with grace. Another countered, "Good on him." Finally someone said, "What we're all thinking about cancel culture ruining creativity." By the afternoon, headlines flooded social media. Ian McKellen storms off live TV after clash with Lorraine Kelly. Tense morning on Lorraine, actor refuses to apologize. Later that day, ITV issued a brief statement. Today's discussion with Sir Ian McKellen became unexpectedly heated. "We appreciate his passion for the arts and thank him for appearing on the program." McKellen himself posted on his Instagram, "Art should provoke, not pacify. No hard feelings toward Lorraine, but I won't apologize for honesty." Meanwhile, Lorraine addressed the incident on the next day's show. "Sir Ian is a national treasure," she said with her trademark calmness, "but sometimes passionate conversations can get a bit, well, theatrical." The audience laughed, and she moved on to the next segment. However, insiders claimed producers were furious behind the scenes. "We didn't expect that level of confrontation," one anonymous crew member told The Mirror. "He was lovely backstage, but once the cameras rolled, something switched." Despite the controversy, McKellen's theater production sold out within 48 hours. Critics suggested that the publicity only fueled public interest. People might disagree with his opinions, wrote The Guardian, but no one can deny his power to command attention. By the end of the week, both Lorraine and McKellen had subtly turned the incident into a PR win, she for her professionalism, and he for his fearless authenticity. In his closing remarks at a later theater event, McKellen joked, "If Lorraine's watching, I promise to behave next time." Or maybe not. The audience roared with laughter. In the end, what could have been a PR disaster became a classic example of British television's unpredictable charm, a fiery clash between wit and willpower that reminded viewers why live TV is still the most exciting stage of all. The morning after the explosive incident on Lorraine, the British media went into overdrive. Every entertainment outlet, talk show, and gossip blog dissected the footage frame by frame. Some called it a generational clash, others branded it the moment Sir Ian lost his temper. But behind the headlines, a deeper story was unfolding, one that revealed much more about the man behind the actor. At his London townhouse, McKellen reportedly spent the afternoon in quiet reflection. A close friend told the Daily Mail, Ian wasn't angry, he was disappointed. He felt the media had twisted his words. He was speaking about artistic freedom, not trying to insult Lorraine. That evening, McKellen agreed to sit down for a follow-up interview on BBC Radio 4, hoping to clear the air. The host began gently, "Sir Ian, yesterday's exchange with Lorraine Kelly caused quite a stir. How are you feeling now?" McKellen sighed deeply. "Look," he said, "I've always respected Lorraine. She's a consummate professional. But when I speak about art, I speak with my heart. Perhaps I came across as harsh, but passion often sounds like anger to those who fear emotion." The host pressed further, "Do you regret how it unfolded?" "Regret?" McKellen repeated thoughtfully. "I regret that modern interviews don't allow for depth. We've traded conversation for soundbites. When I try to discuss real issues, creativity, censorship, the fear of offending, it gets labeled as a clash. Maybe that's the real tragedy." Within hours, clips from the radio interview began circulating online. Hashtags like #Team McKellen and #Stand with Lorraine trended simultaneously. Public opinion was split right down the middle. Lorraine, meanwhile, maintained her signature grace. On her next show, she subtly addressed the controversy. "We had quite a lively conversation yesterday," she said with a smile. "Sir Ian is a passionate man, and I think we can all agree the world needs more passion for the arts." But not everyone was ready to move on. TV critics began weighing in. One columnist wrote, "What we witnessed wasn't arrogance, it was authenticity. McKellen represents an era where truth in art mattered more than being polite." Another countered, "No matter how talented he is, respect must be mutual. Lorraine didn't deserve that treatment on live TV." Behind the scenes, ITV producers debated whether to invite McKellen back for a reconciliation interview. One insider told The Sun, "There's talk of having them reunite on air. It would be incredible for ratings, and honestly, I think both of them would handle it with class." And indeed, a week later, it happened. Viewers were stunned when Lorraine opened her Friday show saying, "Joining me today is a very special guest, Sir Ian McKellen, back by popular demand." McKellen walked onto the set to thunderous applause. This time, he looked relaxed, smiling broadly as he took his seat. "You're brave to have me back," he joked. Lorraine laughed. "Well, we like a bit of drama on this show, just not too much." The mood was light and good-natured. Lorraine asked about his upcoming play and his decades in the industry, steering away from controversial topics. But toward the end of the segment, McKellen leaned forward and said quietly, "Lorraine, may I say something?" She nodded. He continued, "Last time I was here, I spoke with too much fire and too little patience. That wasn't fair to you. I believe in honesty, but kindness is just as important. So, I want to say, sincerely, I'm sorry if I came across as ungrateful or rude." Lorraine smiled warmly and extended her hand. "Apology accepted, Sir Ian. You're forgiven, though I think our viewers quite enjoyed the drama." The audience erupted in applause. After the show, Lorraine posted a selfie of the two on Instagram with the caption, "All good between us. Great chat, great man, great television." McKellen reshared the post, adding, "Two professionals, one passionate conversation. Long live live TV." The reconciliation became the talk of the town. Fans praised both of them for handling the situation with dignity. One viewer commented, "That's how adults resolve things, with respect, humor, and heart." By the weekend, the once controversial clip had transformed into a feel-good story of forgiveness. Major outlets ran headlines like, "Sir Ian McKellen makes peace with Lorraine Kelly in emotional on-air reunion." From clash to class, how two British icons won over the internet. In the following weeks, McKellen continued to tour with his theatre production, which was now completely sold out. Critics called it his most powerful performance in years. During one curtain call, a fan shouted from the audience, "Be nice to Lorraine." McKellen laughed and replied, "I always am, eventually." The crowd roared with laughter and applause. In the end, the incident that began as a fiery clash evolved into something far more meaningful, a public reminder that even legends are human, and that sometimes, a little humility can turn conflict into connection. Both Lorraine Kelly and Ian McKellen emerged from the storm stronger, their reputations untarnished, their friendship renewed. And for millions of viewers, the moment served as a rare glimpse of authenticity in an age where most television moments are scripted to perfection.